Hello everyone. In the present video, I will discuss about gig economy, consumerism and middle class. These are the three important developments in the contemporary world. I will try to explain and discuss these three important developments of the global world from sociological point of view. First, we shall look into the middle class phenomena. Middle class as a class emerged because of the consumerism. When we say capitalist society, then from Marxist point of view, there were two classes that emerged because of the capitalism. Capitalist class, that is bourgeoisie, and proletariat. So capitalist society was mainly divided into two class, and that was the class relations initially in the initial phase of the development of capitalism or industrial society. Later on, the middle class as phenomena emerged. Middle class as class emerged. How this middle class emerged? Very briefly, I will try to explain this. Because of the decomposition of capitalist class and the proletariat class, middle class emerged as a class of consumption. What Baudrillard said is consumer society, the development of consumer society, development of consumer culture. So this consumer culture and consumer society marked the beginning of the or development of the middle class phenomena. So these are two important developments which reinforce each other. That is the middle class phenomena and the consumer society or consumer culture reinforce each other, because the middle class here who works for the capitalist, middle class who serve the capitalist, and in return they get the salary, facilities of life, and various other amenities. And most importantly, middle class always look for living standard. Capitalist always increases the bar of living standard, and middle class always aspire to get the living standard. So in that process of aspiration, they try to acquire what is needed for achieving this particular living standard. So in this process of persuasion, they basically go for consumption. And capitalists always work for creating demand, and so that they can provide the goods, facilities, services as the object of consumption. So consumerism ideology of the capitalism developed the consumer society uh, according to the Baudrillard or consumer culture, and that ultimately reinforces the middle class phenomena. And what is the implication of the development of middle class phenomena is that it decomposed the proletariat class. What Marx predicted, that proletariat class or labor class or working class will unite together and will act against the capitalism, but this is not happening. Why? Because there is now a lot of interest groups that emerged within the proletariat, because middle class is one such phenomena. Middle class would always try to aspire for better life, better living standard. They will work for the capitalist, and they will get their advantages and facilities, so they will never go against the capitalists. So this decomposition happened, and ultimately it affected the issue of the class relations. That is, there is less chances of class conflict, because there is more of the middle class development and consumption and consumerism. So possibility of class conflict is less today. Now coming to the point of gig economy. Gig economy is a new development. I would say this gig economy or service economy is the result of the ultimate development of consumer society and the ultimate expansion of middle class. Because if we see the gig economy, then gig economy is a model of economy that maintains the relationship between service providers and the consumers. And those who are providing services are like two categories of service provider. One who owns the platform, who owns a particular enterprise, and they provide services. Another is labor, that is gig labor or gig workers, or we can say digital labor. They connect the digital platforms and the consumers, and consumers are here to get their services sitting at home. So this is the economic model which is booming today at global level. So what are the various platforms comes under the gig economy that we can simply mention here is food delivery platforms, then car services, car rental services, food delivery platforms like Swiggy, Zomato in India, car services like Uber, Ola, then other essential services like Urban Club, which provides services of carpenter, electricians, and so and so. So these platforms basically provide services to the people, consumers, and consumer gets the services, paying the due amount. Platforms are there which may be located in an office in any of the metro city, but it's the gig worker or digital workers or digital laborers who are running this gig economy, but they are not employed in real sense of the term because they don't have any permanent or a fixed contract. They are freelancer. Whenever anyone wants to use a car for the Ola or Uber, he just has to register in the Ola Uber through a mobile, and he must have a bike or car. Then he can do it. When he would discontinue, then his income would stop. So there is no such permanent contract or employment contract. So it's a freelance process. So the gig workers are providing the services. But what important issue is that this gig economy is no doubt creating an employment opportunity for a lot of unemployed youths who are now able to maintain their livelihood. And at the same time, this gig economy is reinforcing this consumer society, consumer culture, and the middle class development. Now, very important issue or point that I would highlight here is the rural-urban disparity or rural-urban divide here. Whether this gig economy can cater the services in the rural areas, whether rural middle classes are getting or receiving these services of the gig economy, or whether the rural unemployed youths are able to get the opportunity in the gig economy. So this is an important development. Simply seeing this development in the urban areas cannot ensure the development trend in any particular society. If we take the example of India, then it has a largest section of population who are living in the rural areas. So populations who are living in the urban areas may be getting enough advantage out of the gig services, and the workers or laborers or unemployed youths are getting the services or opportunities in the gig economy, but that may not be the reality in the rural areas. So point here is that this gig economy is no doubt creating a change in the employment scenario, in the service economy, in the middle class development, but it has not been contributed well in the development of the rural areas, in the development or well-being of the rural population or rural youths or the skill of the rural people. So this is how we can integrate these three important developments at the global context. But I will try to make more videos on it. Specifically, I can discuss about what is this gig economy, then gendering in gig economy. There is gendered dimension of the gig economy, gig labor, then digital labor, and so many other aspects. Thank you very much for watching.